Day to you, Dangerlings. Here we are. It is Danger Recall, episode 24. Oh my goodness. Episode 24 of the Danger Club podcast. That's what we're talking about today. This is the old new show, the new old show, the show where we talk about our show. And I've got a couple of guests with me today. I have the wonderful James Lockhart.
Hello.
Doing something funny with your microphone there, James. I like that. Good. That was good. Yeah. It was, it's not a visual podcast though, so people won't get it.
It's the sound. I was doing the movement.
It's a shame that it's only mono.
It's really funny because we're going to talk about that in a minute. The other voice that you can hear, Dangerlings, that's Ross Harmston. How you doing, boss?
Hello, everyone.
How are you, mate?
I really like this new setup you've got, Colin. You made it really simple now. It's episode 24, talking about episode 24.
It feels good.
I know, it's better, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know why we did that in the first place. And also we have Scott Wilson. This is the second time I've done your name wrong. Oh no, he's left. He's just gone, Dangerlings. I'm sorry. Scott, how are you, mate?
Yeah, man, I'm all right. Yeah, I'm just I left quickly to go and listen to all those visual podcasts that exist just quickly when you're talking about the non-audio podcast.
I do.
Wolfgang Hemingway, Logo File. How are you? I'm sorry I get your name wrong.
It's okay, Coolin Hobud.
To be fair, we've talked about this before. You've got about 7 different names, haven't you? Aliases.
I have. I have. In your defence, I do have lots of highly stupid names. Wilson, however, is the most common word in the English language after Smith. But yeah, a lot of them are pretty stupid names.
Colin, I'd like to take this opportunity to register my disappointment that you weren't going to continue the high pitch, high tempo beginning of this episode all the way through. What happened there? I was just thinking like, oh, welcome, Dangerlings. I thought that was new Colin. Is that the new old Colin?
Welcome, Dangerlings. This is Colin Hubbard from the Danger Club podcast. Imagine that.
It's like 14-year-old Colin.
Yeah, it is, yeah. If you knew 14-year-old Colin, it's fun, wasn't it? So we've got music.
How are you, Cole? How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, man. I'm fine. This is called A Bilge Too Far. We've got music from Kevin MacLeod. Ooh.
Big up, Kevin.
And we've got music from Sword Coast Soundscapes. Ooh. And Ross Bludgeon, as I'm now going to call him, because I love that mistake that my iPad gave me that time. So we do this is the great intro on this episode. Do you remember this? We all did the thing where we say hello everyone and we pretend that Dan's out of the room. I mean, he was out of the room. Let's not pretend. Do you remember this?
Yeah, and we all did his hello everyone.
Yeah. It was fun, that wasn't it?
Yeah, we're just practicing for when inevitably we do the takeover and we the end.
We get rid of Dan like he's not here now. Yeah.
What the Dangerlings don't know is that was us practicing and warming up. Ever since then, it has been one of us like rotating doing Dan. We just nail his voice every time and he nails one of ours, so the Dangerlings never actually know that one of us guest DMs every episode.
That's how good we are, Dangerlings. Yeah, Mysterious Dan. Weird that you started singing that song as well, James, because that might be coming up at some point as well in the next couple of episodes of Danger Recall. No. Who knows, mate?
You do.
Anyway, Ross, my friend.
Yeah, you definitely know, Colin.
Rossmus Harmston.
Yes.
Do you have a summary of this episode? Now, don't do a James and give me like a 10-minute
no, that's all right. I'll do it in the style of...
You loved it.
I'll do it in the style of Ross's synopsis, which will be maybe vague, maybe incorrect. We'll see.
Go on then.
Is this a bit from Sequel Pitch? Are you doing a bit from Sequel Pitch on our podcast?
No. Cross contamination.
So advertising on a show that goes to our only to our Patreons.
The club are on the ship. They do some investigation-y stuff. They go down to the bottom of the bilge. I think Fulton and Caragor try to swim in the bilge, I think it is. And then they almost drown. There's Shania and Velda become deafened, so then they spend the next later episodes being deafened. That's some hilarity that happens, and we also find a letter on a dead body, and we read it. And I think that's what's happened.
It's a good summary of the episode.
My summary's better.
It was great.
Just going to say,
yours is better, was it, James?
Yeah. I did it off air, but it was better.
Yeah, well,
yeah, it was longer. Yeah,
it's longer than the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Lord of the Rings. Talking about Lord of the Rings, do we all see that video? I sent a video on a chat.
Oh my god!
The other day.
Oh my god!
Have a look at this on YouTube. Mad? It's quite funny. I know. Yeah,
4 million people have watched that. 4 million people.
4 million people to watch this. What someone's done is they've taken Lord of the Rings and just to go off on a bit of a sidetrack here, Dangerlings, and they've taken the Fellowship of the Ring film, and when Samwise Gamgee gets to the bit where when he gets to the bit where he says, "This is it. The next step, this will take me further out of the Shire than I've ever been." Every time Sam then takes a step, they repeat that scene.
Yeah.
All the way through the film, and they've made the whole film 9.5 hours long.
It is maddening, and it's just the same clip.
But then they cut a millisecond of the later bit of the film into just in between the two scenes. So it keeps you keep seeing the rest of the film, but only a millisecond after that next step. And it's mental.
Yeah.
So literally,
so every step he takes. But then they still have full scenes. There's scenes from where all the other characters are playing and Samwise isn't in there, not taking a step. It's really, whoever did that must have gone mad.
He said it took ages in his comments on his thing.
And the uploads, uploading a 9-hour video, that must have taken some serious Wi-Fi. Imagine that, you get 99%. You know when you send those files and sometimes it just goes back to 1% or says your file did not send. Yeah. Imagine that happened. Anyway, let's move on. So we talk about Aaliyah at some point in the beginning. Aaliyah, her album went gold, peaked at 18. That's my dive on Aaliyah there. I could go further, but I'm not going to bother. Do you know what I mean? Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, the album was called. So no,
tweet us, Aaliyah.
All right. She's dead.
She's dead.
No, she's dead. Okay.
Rest in peace. Yeah, you're not down with.
I'm not down with Aaliyah or the thing. Don't hold your head, Scott. I don't know about stuff like this. If she released an album 2 years ago, I wouldn't expect her to be dead right now. So I apologise. My thoughts with her family.
There's no apologies necessary. Yeah, we apologise to hip hop in general.
Just hip hop in general. I don't do the hip hop, and I think that's just been proven categorically again. I know nothing about her.
I've got a weird sound thing going on. Hold on. What's going on here? Talk amongst yourselves.
Was that just to rescue me from the dead Aaliyah gate?
Yeah, because there's all those Aaliyah fans in our patrons.
How'd she die?
Oh, James, I'm going to get you. Died in a plane crash. It's really sad.
Fuck.
Yeah.
She'd just done that film about vampires, hadn't she?
Oh fuck!
It was the sequel to Interview with
something
the
of the Damned.
Yeah, Queen of the Damned.
I think I saw it. I don't remember it being terrible. Actually, that film.
No.
But then again, I don't remember much of it, so it might not have been that good either.
It might have been one of those films when you watch when you were about 14 and go, oh yeah. But then if you were to watch it now, you go, oh yeah.
It was very filler, because there was loads of stuff. There was Kate Beckinsale doing Underworld and all that kind of thing. There were loads of films like that at the time.
Yeah, it was all going on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of the Underworld.
Yeah. Speaking of the Underworld, we're all down in the hatch. We're down investigating a few things at the moment, down in below decks, and Lily's still looking at us through the boat hole. Now, you wasn't here last week on the Danger Recall, were you, Scott? So how did you feel when you did the Lily thing, when you opened up the letter and it said Lily, and then you realised that you'd called her Lily?
Yeah, that was mad, wasn't it? Because I think when I delivered it, Dan was like, the ghost sort of looks at you really weirdly and then backs up. And at the time I was just putting on being like, oh yeah, weird ghost doing a weird thing, never mind. And then the name reveal afterwards, I was like, because I was just like, we were on a river, and I was just like, whatever. First thing comes to mind, Lily, fine. And Yeah. Unfortunately, that didn't come with the, and you have unlocked the entire curse by name. It's not like, some supernatural stuff is when you find out the true name of the demon or the witch or the ghost, you unlock the entire thing. And Dan would just been like, right, well, that's been that arc, hasn't it? That's 4 adventures. There we go. That was one Halloween episode. Self-contained on that one Halloween. There we go. Easy done.
Although,
you have said the one thing. You have freed me.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
What the fuck happened there?
that would be quite an interesting deep dive, wouldn't it? If that was actually the curse release mechanism, and he was like, shit. I'm just going to spin out some nonsense about bilge and holes in the ship, and
Imagine just adventurers going into dungeons, just reeling off lists of names, just in case. 3 ghosts. I got rid of 3 ghosts, so we don't have to fight. Okay, that's worth bringing that thesaurus.
I am Arthan the Namebringer. This is what I do. Betty.
Cyril. Oh, bollocks.
Boris.
Through you go.
Bill. Bob.
Yeah. So we do a few voices in this episode. It's quite good. I've really enjoyed all these little voices that we keep throwing in. We do a load of Batman voices. For some reason, M's like whispering into the microphone, and Caragor says, "Why are you doing a spooky voice, M?" And he goes, "I'm not," or something like that, which is quite funny. We do a load of Batman voices. We're all like, "Oh, we're in the darkness" and stuff. And then Scott starts going, "Swear to me." I don't know if we cross Batmans. I don't know if we do like 3 different Batmans from different genres.
Never cross Batman. That's the golden rule.
I don't know if you should cross the Batmans. Yeah.
I nicked a CD from W.H. Smith's one time. He's been looking for me ever since. He's going to break my legs, that guy.
Yeah. So anyway, we're wondering if Fulton's cats are drowning. We never even looked at that, did we? I mean, obviously we find that Scruffy and Fleabag are still alive, so they didn't drown in Fulton's coat when he went into the water.
Was it Caragor and Fulton in the bilge, or was it just Fulton?
It was Caragor and Fulton. They kind of jump in. I
just don't remember that, but I was like, that was an episode that Caragor was completely dry for throughout. Didn't fall over the side, didn't get in the bilge, didn't get wet. Nope. Jumped in.
No, the bilge was
so many Scooby-Doo references in this one as well. We are all about the Scooby-Doo. Anyway, we get it down below, and there's some screaming and banging heard from 3 of the club members. M sort of doesn't get anything, but Velda and Shania are affected by deafness, which starts a shtick from there on in for the next 2 episodes, doesn't it, James?
No. Well, I was deafened, so there was. I seem to remember there being much deafness, sort of put in there. Like what? It was great fun. I had a blast.
It was hilarious. Yeah, I mean, anything we said, we go, "Oh yeah, let's go and look at this," and then Velda would go, "I think we should go and look at this," and then Shania would go, "I think we should look at this."
Comedy gold.
Yeah.
Rule of three. It was good, wasn't it?
It was really funny.
The screams were great, by the way, Colin. They were pretty scary. Scary screams.
Yeah, man.
We mentioned it before, but the sound engineering through this was magnifique. It was genuinely.
Oh, thank you. I am available if anyone wants to employ me.
All those screams were his own as well.
Yeah. So
those screams were me.
I can imagine there's a big market for weddings. Getting someone along to do a spooky scream every now and then. Maybe does anyone have any objections? That's cold. I
would take that job. What, just to scream uncontrollably at someone's wedding? Are you mad? I would go nuts for that. Pay me minimum wage, I'd do it easy.
Because there is a thing about like people who wail at funerals as well, isn't there? Yeah. So you could be a wedding wailer. You could just be like, whoa, no! Like you could be the.
I thought you meant like. Just someone that comes in with like a harpoon and goes, "I'm going to tame the beast."
A whaler. Ahab comes in.
I'll pursue you around the altar and through the nave and then into your reception. I'll never give you up.
Can he be Welsh as well? Could he be, wailing for whales in Wales?
Yeah,
that's too far, Colin. That's too far. Yeah.
Too far.
Yeah,
it's just going with the rule of 3, Scott.
Not with weddings though. It's a rule of 2 with weddings.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, when to become one. We mentioned police cops. Ross, would you like to tell us what police cops is a reference to?
Police cops?
Yeah.
It's a reference to
whaling.
These people that uphold the law.
Sorry, mate, it's not. No, we're doing cop. I think, and I think I mentioned police cops. Police cops is a sketch from The Simpsons. Again, one of my references, just from The Simpsons.
You got it wrong, Ross. You got it wrong. You were put on the spot. You got it wrong.
Oh, god damn! I need to watch more Simpsons episodes.
Yeah.
Colin, do you watch
Anyway,
Simpsons?
very interesting, James, that you did the whole mic thing, that you tried to do a sound effect by moving your head around just now. Because in this episode, Drum does a thing, screaming round and round the mic, and he tries to do like a sound effect where he sort of goes, whoa, which I'm demonstrating. I'm moving my head away from the mic, Dangerlings, and then back up to it. He tried to do this thing where the sound would sound like it's kind of going in a circle around the mic, if you know what I mean. But then we realised that it's not a visual podcast again. So that joke's not going to land. It's just going to look like I'm turning the volume up and down.
Shout out to all the visual podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to them. Yeah. We talk about body language. And how now these people are deaf, we're going to have to like communicate with them. And I mentioned that a lot of communication is actually non-verbal. And I say something like 86%. I looked into this. It's actually 93%, studies have shown, of communication is non-verbal.
I disagree, and I disagree with my mouth and my words, not with my eyebrows or my head inclination.
Yeah.
But I could see that you disagreed before you opened your mouth.
No, you had to. Let me do the exact same body language. I agree completely.
No, you see,
Okay,
your
but,
eyebrows
I mean-
twitched, and that's about 12% of eyebrow there.
No, I agree. I agree with the general
forehead.
theme of that body language is like a massive important thing, but I'm just like 93%, 7%. Do you know how much we talk alone on this podcast? Like,
Yeah, but you know what? It's not. It's a lot of the time. It's not actually what you say, but it's how you're saying it. So a big percentage of that, you could be saying, "Oh yeah, brilliant," but it's the way that you say it is the communicative part of it. Does that make sense?
True. I think it's highly contextual as well, because if we were talking just physically in person, then yes, I would agree with that statistic a bit more. But on a podcast, or if you can't see each other, you're just talking on the phone, surely that's verbal.
Well, that's when it becomes good, because a phone conversation is very good out there.
You clearly haven't spoken to me.
That's
My
the
phone
thing.
conversations are awful.
That's the
I
thing,
phoned
James.
you the other day,
Terribly boring.
James. I phoned you for like a one-word answer, and I think we had a 45-minute conversation on the phone.
We did. It's what I do. Why use one word when you can use every single word in existence several times? That's
Yeah,
what
it's
we
good.
do.
Thing is, James, is that millennials and Gen Zers don't actually have conversations on phones anymore. Like, people don't talk on them. Like, when I get a phone call, I look at it really closely for a while. I'm like, is this something that I need? Like, is this a thing that I need to answer? Could it be solved in an email or a voice note?
Well, the thing
See,
is-
James and I fall into the category of Zillennials, which are often quite forgotten. We are in between the millennial and the Gen X, Zillennials.
Yes, there we are.
Well, there's a brief period of time where we had an analog childhood, but a digital sort of teen years. So we've absorbed all the skills of both of
Do you mean
We
like
are
before the internet?
Yeah.
Because I had a childhood before the internet. Does that make me a zillennial as well?
They do it on. I've looked into this as well, because I was like, hang on a sec, I don't really fit into either of these categorizations. Like because it's like, we're a boomer. It's like, I'm definitely not a boomer, and I'm definitely not this. I'm definitely not this. But
Okay, boomer.
What's quite an interesting thing is that obviously, I have the privilege of working with sort of younger actors through the agency that I'm part of. And if Scott, you look at a phone call being like, ooh, should I answer this? Should I not? I can tell you now, if you're in your early 20s, it is abhorrent. The idea of calling somebody isn't just like they're literally like, why would I do that? And I was like, well, to call them to let them know they've got an audition. No, I don't see any point in that whatsoever. That sounds awful. It's like, what are you talking about? Just give them
Why
a
would
call.
you do that to someone?
It literally was like, their faces were just like, I just no. absolutely not. Speaking to someone. And it was really weird to see that, obviously, your position, and then sort of 10 years younger, and then God knows what kids growing up now, when they get to it, they just won't exist. We won't speak to each other.
God knows what kids are going
knows
to
what
be
they'll
like
do.
when I'm... Oh, my God, I feel so sorry for
Don't
them.
you worry, though. I will have an opinion on it, so watch this space 10 years time.
Phew.
So if you want to phone James, the number will come at the end of this episode.
So this all
We're
came
gonna
off the
give out
back
a
of
phone
us
number.
trying to communicate because Velda was deaf, right? Was there an abhorrent amount of Caragor dancing eyebrows in this episode, or was that? How do we solve?
Do you know
that?
there wasn't actually? There wasn't many eyebrows. I think the eyebrows come a little bit later.
Yeah.
To be
So
honest.
eyebrows. Now, that's not verbally communicating at all. So by this, does Caragor support this theory?
Yeah, Caragor does. Scott doesn't.
The joys of role-playing.
Yeah.
We talk about how we're all sort of speaking louder and pointing like British people, like when they go abroad. We're trying to communicate with Shania and Velda, so we speak louder and point, and that's what the British do when they go abroad. They don't learn people's languages a lot of the time. This is a general sweeping statement, sorry, but what they do is they speak louder and point. So they'll walk into like a shop and they'll say, "Can I have a ham sandwich, please?" And they'll point really, really forcefully
It's
at
true.
the thing that they want.
And the Holy Trinity, the third, is, of course, you speak slower. So that if I speak my English loud and slowly, you'll definitely understand it. So there we go.
And there's a great bit of Ricky Gervais stand-up where he says, British people don't learn other people's languages, they speak louder and point, and if that doesn't work, smash the place up. Which is also a very British thing to do.
Not anymore, I
we're
don't
sorry,
think. I
rest
think
of the
hopefully
world,
we've left
we're
the
sorry.
football hooliganism behind, I hope.
Oh, you're slamming all football.
I hope well, no, but it was. I'm
supporters.
referring to the sort of the 90s phenomena of this kind of like, it just seemed to be everything in the news that football people go abroad and smash stuff up. But you don't see it so often. Maybe the media's just not reporting it. I don't know. Tweet us, football
There's
hooligans.
been a global pandemic, James. That's why people aren't going to
There's
football
no
games.
football going,
Hey,
yeah.
look, I'll come and smash up your bench, mate. Pandemic or no, I'll smash your bench up, all right?
Thanks, mate.
Smash my bench up.
There's a Gen Zer right by me who could have called the police, but he won't speak on the phone. So
No, exactly.
He's not gonna tell anyone.
Who are you going to call, mate? Who are you going to call? Oh, no. Oh, God.
So anyway, we search the hatch. The sound effect becomes more muted as we go down the hatch. I really enjoyed that because I did it, and kudos to me. We jump into the water and roll for initiative. Caragor starts to drown, as does Fulton, but
don't remember
Fulton
that, mate.
not
Don't
as
remember
bad
that.
as
I think
Caragor. You
Caragor
don't
starts to
remember
drown.
that?
Real
So-
bad. It was real
Really
bad.
Getting out
So
loads of
Caragor's
muddy
is
water,
famous for
yeah.
it, yeah.
Well, you're only standing you're only like ankle deep in this water, but you're drowning.
Well, it didn't-
Oh yeah, that's
didn't it
right.
sort
Of course.
It
Yeah,
kind
do you
of
remember this?
projected itself into your mouths rather horribly and stuff, didn't it? It was just like,
Yeah, the bilge was a squirter.
oh God, I've just stuck a bit in my mouth. Could you never ever say that again, Scott? Is that okay?
Agreed.
But anyway, we pull him up. Fulton and M pull Caragor out, and because then Fulton sort of gets out by himself. Caragor couldn't because he couldn't. Oh, I can't get out of the water by myself.
Wait till later on. Yeah, wait till when Caragor and Fulton have a fight. Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to make Fulton feel better because Fulton really couldn't get out of the water. He was genuinely drowning, I seem to remember.
Yeah.
And then Shania does that spell where he sort of like drum comes out with loads of like weird words. It's brilliant, actually. He's like, hickledy pickledy, here we go. It's like a really funny little spell. I didn't note down exactly what he said, but it really made me laugh listening back. So we figured out, well, we don't figure this out, but later on Dan tells us that when you're in the water people drown, and when you sort of which is weird, isn't it?
Part of the ghostly effect, wasn't it?
And the trick is to hold your breath, and then you won't drown. That was apparently the trick that we couldn't
yes, it
work
was,
out.
yeah, because you wouldn't think to because you're only in a sort of knee-deep water.
Yeah, of course, of course. So there's that. Phasmatic words. There's this lovely conversation between Caragor and Shania. And Caragor, you're like, go on, tell me some phasmatic words then. Go on, I want to hear them. And Shania goes, all phasma, okay? That's like all she gives
Tell you what, though,
and you're like, yeah, fair play.
Phasmatic words. Surely that's got to be an MC name. That's the best MC name I think I've ever heard. Bit of spoken word poetry,
Yeah.
bit of sort of, spitting some lyrics. Phasmatic words, mate.
Phasmatic
It's pretty good. Maybe that could be your poetry name, Ross.
Yeah. Do a bit of slam poetry.
Go on then.
I'm looking forward
Go
to
on
it. Yeah.
Go on then.
All right. Here I am, sitting on the seat. Gonna get down. Gonna get beat. make sure you step out of my way, 'cause I'm gonna make your day.
He's going to eat a Frankfurter because he's a squirter. Yeah, boy.
Knees
That's what you
weak,
got to do. You got to give the clicks when you
arms are heavy.
Let's have a bevy.
All right, so
Boom. We should branch out, guys. A bit of sort of,
Yeah, totally.
less slam
Velvet has
poetry.
this
Never do
genius-
that. Let's all agree right now to make a sacred bond to never ever do that.
Or it could be, rather slam poetry. It could be sort of like shove poetry.
Sham poetry.
Shove, for shoving at people. Just sort of shove, not slamming. Just whoop. Maybe a push
Sounds quite
poetry.
forceful.
Nudge
man.
poetry.
Sounds
Nudge
quite forceful,
poetry.
this
Yeah,
poetry.
that sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Velda has this idea to sort of hang down into the thing with dancing lights and have a look around, and we see that there's a crate that's been tipped over. We mention the word sediment, and we all start saying it. Sediment. It's a good word to say, isn't it?
Sediment.
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 It's also one of the words that Rowan Atkinson uses in that famous Secret Policeman's Ball from like the 1970s,
80s.
where he got discovered. Is it 1980s?
Yeah, it was 1980s. Yeah,
well,
it was all Ben Elton
feels
and all
like
that
the
sort of
70s.
bunch.
Yeah, it's really funny. He like does it as a headmaster. Go and check that clip out on YouTube. Rowan Atkinson, Secret Policeman's Ball, and he sort of calls it out like a headmaster from like an old Etonian school or something. And he calls out loads of names, and the way that he pronounces words, Rowan Atkinson, is really really funny. Do you know the reason that he pronounces them in such a funny
Yeah,
way?
I do. Isn't it because he's got a stutter? Or to,
Yeah.
speech impediment, and he had to really, really practice saying names, and he came up with this sort of sounded funny.
That's correct. Yeah, the way that he speaks. Apparently, his B's are amazing because he really struggles with his B's. So when in Blackadder, where he's got the lad called Bob, he's well in Bob, and the way he says it, he really has to concentrate on the way he says Bob, and it's just really funny.
It is. And I'll tell you what,
yeah.
I mean, it won't come as a surprise, but it's if you haven't ever watched any of Rowan Atkinson stand up in the Secret Policeman's Ball or any others, do. It's such, and his physical performance as well, when he's the dancer trying to get changed and he's just miming putting on a leotard, and it's hilarious, and he does it for about 10 minutes, and it's just so funny. Guy's a genius.
I mean, he was the modern day Charlie Chaplin, wasn't he? Like, creating Mr. Bean. It's literally worldwide. Everyone loves it because it doesn't require any language. You don't need to. There's no dialogue in it, so everyone can watch it.
Yeah, Mr. Bean was the perfect modern day clown.
Yes. Yeah. I think he trained in mime as well. That might be a fact check, but I think he actually went and did a sort of high profile course in it and has a great interest in that kind of style of comedy.
93% of communication is non-verbal.
Says Mr. Bean.
It's just a lovely, and we talked about clowns, so this is coming round and round, isn't it? I like
It
this.
is.
This is it's a good episode.
Hang on a minute. Ross,
Smashed
do
it.
that little voice grunt again.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Beelzebub. What the? We just revealed. Oh my god!
But you never see them in the same room together. That can't be.
Yeah,
oh my
you
god!
do.
Yeah.
We also, Caragor and they fire arrows into the crate to pull it away. We talk about the sediment man will pass. Just to talk about sediment a little bit more. Ross, do you know what the sediment man will pass is?
It's from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, where Sean Connery's been shot in the stomach, and Indiana Jones has to go and get the Holy Grail, otherwise he's gonna bloody die. So he's got to do all this thing, and he goes through the first trap, and he goes and he keeps saying, "Only the penitent man will pass. Only the penitent man will pass." And then Sean Connery goes, "Penitent man, penitent man, penitent." And then they're
You sure it wasn't David Attenborough?
Penitent man is
Only the penitent man will pass.
And then he's like, "Oh, yeah, the penitent man is humble, kneels before God, kneels." And then he kneels and rolls through the like slicey thing, and then
this is turning into a Danger Recall about Indiana Jones.
It is.
It's one of my favourite films,
And it's a little known fact
It's
that
good,
actually circular saws were invented in the 12th century, apparently in the desert. So there we go. God invented circular saws and put them in his
God
temple.
invented circular saws.
Yeah.
so that's where that's from.
So we pull this crate up, and Caragor pulls the crate up because M fails. Thanks, Caragor. And then one day, I mentioned this is great. One day we're all going to have headphones because Shania does this whole like rah that Drum loves to do, which is brilliant. And I sort of say, one day you're all going to have headphones. So still, at this point, in episode 24, not all of us were in headphones. That's a good little fact for you there. We're going to mention when we know that everyone's got headphones.
Well, it was the great breakthrough on that was the little do-wangle, the little widget, the little thing you plug all the things into, wasn't it? I remember being very excited when Colin, you produced that. I was like, ooh, it's like the star. Oh.
Yeah, I still want to upgrade and get like a better one. But anyway,
Colin, do they sell them as do-wangles or little widgets?
Which
that's what I had to do. I had to search for both actually.
Yeah,
It was a good day when Colin got out his do-angle. That was a good time.
And we all plugged into it, and it was joy round the table. I can tell you that much. We just sat smiling.
At the end of this episode, we retrieve the body from the hatch, and it's the body of a young girl, and that's where we leave it for tonight. Said Dan.
Cool. End on a downer.
I know.
Also, we never really record at night, so I don't know why we always say tonight when that's where we leave it tonight. So tweet us, Dan.
My world is rocked.
I just thought it was like three dudes just being like, this is surely a tiny point, but oh my god, I've never thought of that.
Good God. Now you mention it,
shit.
it's never night time.
Is it because we always used to play in the pub at evening? Is that why?
I think that's why. Yeah.
Or we assumed that people would be listening to it in bed alone with a cup of warm milk and their little nightcap on.
Yes. Tweet us, Wee Willy Winkle. I think he's a big fan.
Do-angles.
That's me.
Dairy farms,
Hoopty-fanged
non-dairy farms.
Do-angles.
Just tweet us. We love you. Dangerlings, this has been episode 24. Get on the Discord, have a chat to us about some stuff. We are always there. If you need us, give us a tweet, give us a little like, give us a review, go on Facebook, on the group.
I'm regularly not there.
What?
Just to point it.
You're not there, are you, James?
No.
Well, if you want to have a go at James, that's the place to do it.
Also, we've got a new little Facebook community called the Danger Club Podcast Community on Facebook, which is a lovely little group that people are talking about all their little things in, like what games they're playing and what dice they like and that kind of thing. And if you find you're not a member of the Discord, or you're on the Facebook page, but you can't really talk on that, then the Danger Club Community is a lovely little community of people who are talking about things like that.
Nice.
That's the one to get on. I think that's what I was trying to say, but Scott, you said it better than I did.
didn't,
so
because the full name is the Danger Club Podcast Community. That's me saying it better.
What is Facebook?
That's good to know, man. What is
the Book of Faces? It's an artifact you can pick up at level 15 of Pathfinder if you beat the Rise of the Rune Lords. You get the Book of Faces.
And I hear James, that if you do, you're such a boomer.
I hear that if you do, you're cursed forever. Is that right? Yeah, you pick it up. Yeah, okay. Oh, check it out.
Yeah.
All right, babes, we're going to go. Thank you so much for listening. To my guests, Ross Harmston.
Goodbye.
To James Lockhart. And Scott Wilson Besgrove.
Farewell, but this will not be the last time that we meet, for yea, there is darkness upon the moons, and I will have my vengeance.
Damn, I need to watch more Simpsons episodes.
Yeah.
Colin, do you watch Simpsons?
you know what? We talked about this on the last week's episode, or we didn't because I cut it, so let's not get into it.
So you don't like The Simpsons? So you cut The Simpsons out? Don't have a cow, man. All right.
The Simpsons. Yeah. Same joke again. I have to cut again. It's interesting, isn't it?
Because
The Simpsons is
Colin, the rule of three Simpsons gags. Come on.
Any more than that,
it's a bit weird, isn't it? Because The Simpsons is great, but it's it's troubled because it was created over 30 years ago now, and times have changed very quickly.
It's
and
true.
Yeah, people doing voice actors. You wouldn't be cast as an Indian person if you were white. No,
you can't have clowns in anything now. It's just been banned.
And you can't have clowns in anything. Clowns are
crusty.
just,
can't have him.
And I think that's a good thing. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think it's great. But yeah, it's troubling. Anyway,
I think it's of its time,
cut
and I think this is a problem with comedy generally. Like, especially if something's very successful and popular, that actually it's so popular it influences society itself. That eventually it is going to become a product of the past. And
I mean, it is still one of the most successful cartoon TV shows of all time. Really,
never seen it, mate.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Never seen it at all.
It's not that big, right? Never watched it. Never watched it.
Right, so moving on. Very interesting that James, you tried to do something with your mic. I'm gonna have to cut it.
But it was 3, Cole. That was 3. That was the 3. The Holy
yes,
Trinity
I know, but I'm cutting all of the thing about The Simpsons.
What?